Hey guys, I am back here with another deck, and it is a hand buff deck. Now, why did hand buff suddenly get substantially better? Well, it's because of this little change to Torque. Torque would normally start in your starting deck only if you had a devotion deck. That meant you only played square tile cards in your deck. Now he changed so that he always starts in your starting deck, even if you have cards that are neutrals. This makes it substantially better because this card will give his boost to another random card in your hand every time it gets a boost. So basically doubles your boosts. If you give Torque 5 boosts, he will give that 5 to another card. So this is awesome. I went a little bit all out here and I added most of the cards I could find that will give boosts. So let's start off with a fun little combo you can do at the very beginning. There's this card that changed called Farseer. This will boost an unboosted unit in your hand by the number of boosted units in your hand. So what's the trick here? Well, we start off by using our leader ability. This leader ability boosts 4 units in your hand by 1, and you can do this 3 times. So normally you'd like to pick Torque every single one of those times because it doubles the boost, right? Not this time. This time we click it once or twice and we give the boost to all the units in your hand that is not Torque. Then you play Farseer, maybe even as your first card, and then you get like a 6 or a 5 point boost and you give that to Torque. Torque will then give another card a 5 or 6 point boost. So essentially this card can play for something like 17 points. I mean, it's absolutely insane if done correctly. It's a very nice combo to have, and that's why we have 2 of them. So other than that, you always start with Torque in your starting hand. You preferably want to start with all the other cards as well that normally starts in your, well, sorry, I can't concentrate because there's a bug here. Let me just quickly go out. It's showing 2 Agliases. So the rest of the cards in your hand preferably needs to be cards that you're going to be using far later on. Cards like Aglias, because this card needs to constantly get charges. So on turn end, double the amount of boost on self. If this card has 30 points of boost on self, it will double itself. And it will have another 30 points, giving you 64. You know what I'm saying? It's extremely good. You want to play this last say, meaning you don't want your opponent to interact with this card at all, or else it will die. So we have Aglias. Another card we have is Philavandrel. So Philavandrel will create and play a square tile special card with a provision cost equal to this unit's power or less. So there are 2 cards we're aiming for. We want to get this card up until 8 or 10. If we can get it to 10, we can get Call of the Forest, which plays a square tile unit from your deck and boosts it by 1. The other card we want to play is the 8-point Isengrim's Council, which will look at a random Dwarf, Dryad and Elf in your deck and then play 1 and boost it by 2 points. If you don't get a solid a special card, like 8 or 10, and you end up with something like, let's say, 7, you might get something really awkward like Sayov, which you don't want. So rather than go for the ranged option, which will create that card or a lower card, so it gives you more options. But if you have 8 or 10, you go for melee on the dot. For another example, if you boost it all the way to 11, there aren't any 11 special cards. So if you do that, you won't be able to use it at all. Next up is our Sheldon Skags. Sheldon Skags will damage an enemy unit by the amount that Sheldon is boosted. So this is also a card that you want in your hand early on, as it will certainly pay off in the long run. So beside those cards, you have a lot of ways to attain points. Now let's start from top to bottom. Firstly, we have Ithlin. This will boost a square tile unit in your hand by 4 points. Next, you have France's Bedlam, a neutral. Every ally turn on turn end, boost the lowest unit in your hand by 1. Now some people will say, yeah, the lowest units in your hand wouldn't be Aglias or Torque. Not necessarily. If those are the only 2 units left in your hand, France's Bedlam will boost them as well. I just think this is a pretty awesome card. It brings back memories of a time when I used to play this in Quite a bit, actually. I don't even remember what the meta was. It was years earlier. But yeah, you can now put this in your deck because why not? Next up, we have Dunka. This will boost a random square tile unit in your hand by 1 every turn. And if you're done using it, you can click its order ability and damage an enemy unit by 3. Then we have the 2 Hawker Smugglers. Every allied turn, this will boost a random unit in your hand, no matter if it's square tile or not. Quite nice to have those as well. So, then we get to some of the other cards. Now, we have a card that is very much changed. It's Trust Butterflies. This will shuffle a card from your hand back into your deck that you don't want, and then it will draw a unit of your choice from your deck and boost it by 3. So, let's say you start off the game and you don't have something like a Goliath in your starting hand. That's pretty bad because you really have to start accumulating points on that card. So you just play Trust Butterflies, you draw a Goliath, it gets an instant 3 points, so that's going to be 6 points at the end of the game because it doubles. Trust Butterflies is a great card to have. It's also neutral, but you can still play it now. Next up we have Valve. Valve plays any nature card from your deck. So the nature cards are included are pretty specific. Some people might say, well, yeah, you should be playing Simlas. Well, no, you don't really have to, because Simlas will play 2 of a special card. Now, firstly, we only have 2 Bountiful Harvests and 2 Circle of Lives and 2 Dryad's Curses. But point is, we don't necessarily want to play 2 Dryad's Curses, and we might not have these in our deck at the same time, and it's sort of a hassle in my opinion when I can just get another Call of the Forest potentially and pull something else out. So the specials I chose, well, basically what I'm trying to say is if you really want to, you can play Simlas. It's also a 12, but I went with Philavandrel because of personal preferences. So I have 1 Nature's Rebuke. This is simply to get rid of a dangerous engine on the board that needs to go at all costs. So at least we have the option of that. Then we have 2 Circle of Lives. This will damage an enemy by 3, then boost a random square tile card in your hand by 2. If you kill the card, you can choose which square tile unit you want to boost, which is normally going to be Torque. Then we have 2 Dryad's Caresses. This is mainly to purify your engines if they get locked or if they get poisoned. So your engines are really important to keep boosting the cards in your hand, and this will prevent that card from disappearing. We also have Spores, of course. Spores can't be pulled with Valve, but still, you're going to want to reset some cards in this meta. They get pretty big, and Spores allows you to do that. So after that, we also have Bountiful Harvest, which are nature cards. This will create and play a bronze square tile elf. Then, depending on the position of the card you choose, because it will create 3 cards, you'll be able to choose either the right one, the middle one, or the left one. If you choose the left one, the Bountiful Harvest will boost the leftmost unit in your hand by 2 points. If you choose the right option it gives you, the card, it will boost the rightmost card in your hand by 2 points. If you choose the middle card, it will boost a random card in your hand by 2 points. So there is a little bit of manipulation going on here if you want to boost something specific, but sometimes it just gives you a great option that you actually want to play, and you pick that card nonetheless. So Bountiful Harvest is pretty good. Next we have Sorceress of Doblathana. This will create and play a bronze square tile special card with a provision cost equal to or lower than this card's power. So let's say this is 4 and you don't boost it. If that's the case, you still have access to stuff like Dryad's Caress, maybe Tempering, whatever. If you can boost this to 6, you have the option of maybe getting a Bountiful Harvest, which is not bad. Or you can even get something like Circle of Life or Nature's Rebuke. Alright, and then lastly we have Hawker Support. This will boost an allied unit in your hand by 1. If that unit was already boosted, it will boost it by 3 instead. So you're going to boost Torque. Torque is going to get 3 points. Those 3 points are going to go to another unit. So, before I show you some games with this deck, let's just take the stratagem. You will boost a unit in your hand by 3 and give it 2 armor. Pick carefully what you want to use with that one. This is a very fun deck to play. You should definitely give it a shot once or twice. Now, normally hand buff decks like this is a lot better in the lower ranks than it is in pro rank. You'll never see this in a competitive scene, and you won't really see it in pro rank either unless they're just playing it for fun. But if you are climbing the ranks from the very beginning, or you're up in the 20 to 30 scene, or maybe even rank 10 to 20, you can play this deck and you will very likely still win. It's normally players who are still climbing up the ranks who enjoy this deck the most and leave the most comments on the video's comment section. So yeah, play this if you want to for fun, try it out. It certainly is a lot of fun, and it's a very strong deck if your opponent doesn't know what they're doing. Okay, Skellige. Interesting.
And save me some time.
When is the book coming out? In about a month or two. They are finishing the final touches, and then they'll tell me how long it will take to actually literally just print the copy. It should be fairly soon. Will it be available in different languages? Ideally, but that will take some money that I don't yet have. So first it will have to sell well in English, and from there on out it can be potentially translated. Will it be on Amazon? Yes. You'll be ordered to order it from Amazon from anywhere in the world. Hand looks good. Not the best Farseer.
Not afraid? You should be.
Okay. Maybe we should have waited before we did that, because now Triss is majorly buffed, whereas we'd rather have a Goliath being buffed. Poggers, good morning. What's your new favorite deck so far? I mean, I like hand buff. It's not necessarily the best deck to play. Let's put Triss, or Hawker just dies, doesn't it? Potentially, we'll see.
Special prize, just for you, love.
Other than that, we still have to play Syndicate, that's for sure. Carl.
That may be amusing.
Magic Compass.
Just one more, sir.
What shall we shuffle? Probably Circle. In exchange for a Goliath. Now, last save might become pretty important, seeing that they'll have Morkvarg. That's a little bit scary.
Nigh is the time of the white frost and white light.
Okay, we can also draw something else actually. How about... Could be Filavandro.
Don't you pester me.
At 6. What do we get at 6? Maybe not. I'd rather go something like Dunka. The problem is they definitely have ample removal. Clearly not. Okay, we're not doing badly. They'll likely have to start committing at some point to get ahead. Oh, well, Berna is good.
Stand before the Queen of Skellige.
I could even play Torque if I really need to.
Illusions. You've yet to see what they
It
can
is what it is. Morkvar can't deal with all of these. Ouch. You're listening to the rustling in the trees and the wind, and it makes you want to write a one-shot. That's a good feeling, isn't it? Look, I can technically play Torque right here, but I won't. The fact that they kept playing is interesting enough. I wonder if including some immunity in the hand buff would be cool. Mulvar or that one green dragon with immunity. That's not a bad idea, Smidge. That's actually not a bad idea. We just have quite a few targets already, as you can see. Like Skags here won't do us very well. No.
You can kiss my tail goodbye.
Show me the coin or sod off.
I mean, this is looking good. They just can't get this out of me in this turn. That would be devastating.
All that dancing around. Not for me.
The wind whistles, Willow's whip.
They could pass. Alright. A 3 should do it. Well, we're left with a pretty chunky hand. Yeah, but they can only have one Morkvark, right? Only one. Ouch, that hurts.
This moment, I've seen it already.
I think that was a pretty neat combo. That's a thick Aglias, it sure is. Hey, they have to deal with a 28-point torque. Lippy. It's not a magic compass deck. They might have Morkvark. But still, this gives me a shot.
I could drown you in a single drop.
Makes Fat Pixie look skinny. How dare you insult my cat? Only I get to insult my cat, thank you very much. I guess...
Time for you to die, Dwan. Oi, hey there, come here.
Damn, son. That's a thick boy. I can play these in any order, it really doesn't matter. Not at this point. Kablammer!
I'll give you iron balls, you scoundrels, you!
No offense, I'm hoping for a chonky sensor. Why would you say that?
There'll be nothing to pick up when I'm done with
Oh, I
you.
also did it like that. Now you expect the Mega Scope to do 8 points of damage, but it doesn't. Kablamo!
Lie still. You've not yet recovered.
I mean, if they can't win, they just forfeit here. If they can, they continue. Oh no!
Oh, how wonderful! You speak our tongue.
Chunky spores. Victory! Oh, it's a mirror match.
Yield and save me some time.
Oh dear goodness, this is gonna be interesting. Alright, let's go. Okay, this is gonna be so important. Who draws the cards? Hand is looking okay. No. Well, I have enchanted armor, so I basically win, is my opinion. Okay, what are we gonna start with? We don't have the Farseer right now. What I would like is to immediately play Triss Butterflies.
I will not let this become a second Sodden.
And we will put away a Hawker support in exchange for a Glyas. That's pretty important. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A bit too much. I'm not going to use Invigorate yet. Retweet if you cried. Same. Oh, we're starting with a sorceress, are we?
Gargling like
That's
that.
rather sneaky, isn't it? It would be a shame if someone used Circle of Life. Thanks for the follow, Montel Gario. Okay, so far nobody has any carryover except me. We have to keep count, it's very important. Okay, Bountiful Harvest will do the trick. Okay, we have to be careful because they're not playing any engines, indicating that they might be keeping them for later. And Catalan or Caitlin, thank you for the follow. What's next? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might as well use Enchanted Armor now on Toruk. Giving it to the card I didn't want it to have. Well, that's fine, I guess. Shall we begin with something basic like Hawker Smuggler? Yes.
Show me the coin or sod off.
Forest Protector. Okay. So they've played what? Like they just replayed Bountiful Harvest, so that is a carryover of 2 to 4.
But there is no escape.
Yeah, this isn't going anywhere, my friend. Again, the fact that they're not playing any engines is weird to me. DH Cow coming in with a prime. Why, thank you, DH Cow. I appreciate that. Thank you for giving me your only prime. I am very honored. This does not get me ahead. That's alright.
The only good one is a dead one.
Now it's all about carryover. What are you doing? Is this even a Invigorate hand buff deck?
Oi! Hey there! Come here!
Nice. Seems more like a hybrid. Yeah, right? I mean, this is an 11 version card. Cat Witcher.
Too slow.
Okay, I am thoroughly confused now.
Wait, yes, they won't let us talk to strangers.
Maybe should have used Invigorate real quick. Too late now, I guess. To me, it's about the carryover. Tried matron.
The best feathers are from hens.
Whom do I spy?
Maybe he nicked the wrong leader in building. I used to play hand buff paladin. This seems much more difficult. I will take a sip. They appear to know what they're doing. I mean, I likely pass pretty soon, I'd say. The only carryover they have is because of Bountiful Harvest, and now because of their leader ability. It's very minimal at best. Sheldon. Okay.
You're one dense thunderheat.
Fair enough. Good. Alright. Bad. Maybe. That wouldn't be bad. Okay. I'm actually alright with this, believe it or not.
Nigh is the time of the sword and axe.
Question is whether we keep spores at this point. Probably right. Probably should keep spores. Okay, get rid of Dryad's Caress. And definitely want Philavandrel. Probably won't get Philavandrel. Do we keep Farseer here? Just to boost something by 3 points. Something that we don't want boosted per se. Okay. Well, let's see how many cards do we have. For now, I'll start with the Hawker support. Boost Torque. Now we've got 4 cards. Let's just do this real quick before we forget. I mean, I can't deal with all of them, right? Especially since they have a hybrid deck. We should look out for cards like Gezras though, so going for the melee is probably better. Oh, so it's dwarves as well. Is this Shin's deck? Could be, I guess. We do have Sheldon to deal with any pesky dwarves if necessary. Definitely can't deal with all of them, no. What is happening? Fun. No!
Watch and learn.
Yeah, that's less than ideal. Not a fan of Ops deck. I'm gonna have to kill Zoltan. Monroe. The thing is, they will have Brewer, which I'd rather kill. This is not surviving. There's no point in playing it. I'm a little bit afraid, I'm not gonna lie.
Too fast for you, Dwan.
Aye, aye, soon as I finish my pint.
fucking kidding me? Catnip instead of crowns?
This is not what we agreed.
I mean, they really don't have that many provisions left. No, I'm lying. They definitely do. I don't know what's in store for us.
Dole! Blathana!
You'll be fine.
I have to play it on the same row, okay? If Jurden exists, we're done anyway. It's that Witcher that's problematic. At this point, it's the most problematic. There will be bigger cards.
Just one more feather and we're
The fact that they're still playing is what scares me, really. They think they can catch up, so they probably can. I mean, if they have spores, that's good enough. Torque? Oh, what's your last card, Aglaeus? Oh, what? Let's go!
Jiggle, jiggle.
Can you remember any of the rap that you did?
I'm not rank 30.
It folds. I'd like to see you wiggle, wiggle.
I don't know what just happened.
Make you wanna dribble, dribble.
What's happening?
You know,